Hi, welcome to the Crafty Tinkerer. I'm Nicole, and this week I'm going to be talking about finished sweaters and a few events that have been going on around town this week. So I'll start with the sweaters. This week, as you know, I finished my Strange Brew cardigan. Although, since it hasn't been steeked yet, I'm not sure if I can technically call it a cardigan. But I added buttons, and I patched up where I had put waste thread to make afterthought pockets. I will put pictures in here so that you can see. What I did to fill in the pockets was the Kitchener stitch. I took two double-pointed knitting needles and I picked up the stitches on either side of where the waste yarn was. And then I just picked out the brown background color and Kitchener stitched all of it up. And I can see a little bit of a difference, but I'm hoping that once I do block the sweater that you won't really be able to tell. I mean, I can tell because I know exactly where the pocket went, but I don't think anyone passing me on the street is gonna go, huh, what happened to your sweater down there? So I did take it out for a little test run yesterday. Even though it's still, you know, it hasn't been steeked yet, so it's a little bulky in the front, but I added the buttons and I buttoned it up, and so I just wanted to see how warm it would be, how it would wear, and I loved it. So last thing to do is steek at Steek and Streak. That's happening. So Christy Glass Knits created an event on her Facebook page, and I RSVP'd to it. There are 16 other people who have RSVP'd that they are going, and we are going to meet at 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 19th of October at the Dutchess County Fairgrounds for the New York Sheep and Wool Festival to cut open our sweaters. So it's really exciting. At this point, I just can't wait until it's finished so that I can just not have to worry about it anymore. And then the weather had warmed up, so I had a little bit of a panicky moment that I wouldn't be able to actually wear this to the Sheep and Wool Festival. And I thought, well, maybe I'll knit a quick short sleeve sweater. And I ended up casting on two. One was a cotton that I was using Knit Picks Dishy yarn with. And I haven't actually added any more to that because I can't quite figure out where I want to go with it. I've finished the first part and love how that came out, but I'm just not sure where the rest of it's going. So that is sitting to the side for now. And this one practically flew off the needles after doing a fingering weight sweater using a worsted weight yarn and needles that are more than double the size of the original needles for that sweater. It only took me about a week, and I didn't have to change out yarns and pick which color combinations I wanted to do next. There were fewer patterns to choose. Part of what takes me so long with color work knitting is choosing the patterns that I would like to use. So this just, you know, there were only four different motifs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just 4 of them. And so it made it go much faster. And plus the yarn was an ombre Lion Brand mandala cake, and so the colors just changed automatically. I didn't plan it out at all. I didn't cut anywhere. I just literally knit as it went, and I'll post a picture of the full sweater here. And the blue, the dark blue yarn is, I said last week, Peyton's Canadiana, which is, it's a navy blue. And I had only 3 100-gram balls of it. And I was thinking, you know, that I wouldn't have enough to make a long enough sweater. But actually, it did come out at a really good length. So once I blocked it. And really, while I was binding off, on the last stitch that I bound off, I had, you know, maybe a 1/2 inch of yarn left. So it was perfect. If I could change anything, I would have gone down probably at least 1, if not 2 needle sizes on the ribbing for the arms to draw them in a little bit. After blocking, they got a little bit better, but before I blocked them, they were sticking out almost. I felt like a football player wearing, you know, shoulder pads and a uniform. They were just like sticking straight out. So that's one thing that I would change. I probably wouldn't change anything else, actually. That's the only thing that I would change if I could go back and do it again. But I'm not undoing it. So it works. It's, you know, it's fine. It's not perfect, but nothing is. I really like it. I love the colors. I'm not usually a person who will wear bright colors, but like I said, when I was in the store, I couldn't pass by this cake of yarn, so I had to get it, and I am glad I did. And I'm pleased with how the sweater came out. So 2 sweaters now. I've done 2 sweaters using the Strange Brew pattern by Tin Can Knits. So thank you, ladies from Tin Can Knits, for making this pattern and making it easier to knit sweaters, because it's just very easy to follow. And with this one, I did do short rows for the first time. I know I mentioned that in my video last week. I put them at the back, and they didn't come out quite like I envisioned, but it was only the first time. So, but yeah, overall, I'm very pleased. So last week I went to the spin-in again at the Hudson Valley Sheep and Wool Company. This is the second time that I've gone. And although I am not yet a spinner, I did bring my knitting. I was actually working on my sweater when I was there. It was a beautiful day. We got to sit outside, and yeah, there's an aerodrome nearby, so there were small planes flying over. It's fun to watch them. And then we also got to see the sheep. And if you are in the area anytime that they do have the spin-in, I recommend heading over there. It's a really nice time. It's a great group of people. They all love what they do. They enjoy sharing, you know, with each other. And I'm really glad that I found out about it. Now, Mary is not going to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival this year. They are going to have extended hours at the farm. So if you are in town for the Sheep and Wool Festival, I do recommend that you head into Red Hook and you visit the Hudson Valley Sheep and Wool Company, because you will not regret it. While I was there, I was able to pick up another cable for my knitting needles. I know that last week I was talking about how I had the stitches on the sweater all scrunched up because I only had a 22-inch cable and a 12-inch cable. So I was able to get another 22-inch cable and spread the stitches out a little bit more, and it just made it easier for me to finish the sweater. And while I was there, I thought, you know, I'd pop in and see if there was any more of the merino and silk blend yarn that I picked up a few weeks ago. There's lots of it, but none of the color that I actually picked up a few weeks ago. So I'm thinking, all right, I'll get, you know, a color that's close enough. So I pick up this. because I'm thinking, oh yeah, I think it was, you know, pretty similar to this. I get home and I put it next to the one I bought last month. Actually, it was last month at the other spin-in, and they are not at all the same at all. So anyway, but they are nice and soft. So I'll definitely have projects for these at some point. The other thing that I did this week was I went to Saugerties and I was at the Perfect Blend Yarn and Tea Shop. They will also be having extended hours during the Sheep and Wool Festival. And actually it's funny because on the same day, Friday, October 18th, which is when I'm having my Stitch Social, the two ladies who were kind enough to donate a few items for door prizes, Terry from Whole Knit and Caboodle Yarns and Julia from Pandia's Jewels, they're both going to be at the Perfect Blend on Friday. So if you're not going to the Stitch Social and you happen to be near Saugerties, definitely go in and see them. They're both very nice. And it's always a great time going into the Perfect Blend. So we have been meeting and doing some yarn embellishments for Saugerties. Last year they covered the parking meters throughout the village of Saugerties, but there are a lot of parking meters in Saugerties. So this year they decided to just do some smaller projects to hang in different places around town. And I won't tell you about other people's projects, but I will tell you about mine. I took a picture of my autumn leaf garland. It was a nice, quick, easy project. After two, this is one of the leaves. This is the first leaf I made, actually. And after I made two leaves, I had the pattern memorized. So I did deviate a little bit though. I didn't knit it on the garland at the same time. My daughter crocheted a garland and I just tied the leaves to the garland. On one of them, I did try weaving the ends in, but on the other one, I just left the ends out because I thought, well, it's gonna get rained on. Who knows if the ends are gonna come out anyway. And it didn't look terrible with the ends out. So I just left that one as is. So if you are in Saugerties or near Saugerties, if you live there, if you're in town just for the Sheep and Wool Festival, definitely check out the different embellishments that are around town. I've seen a couple people post about them on Instagram already. The businesses in town were pretty accommodating. There were only a couple of people who said no, they didn't want us to hang things up. So we appreciate the ones who did, and we hope that you enjoy seeing what we left around. So while I was at the Perfect Blend, last weekend they were having their birthday celebration weekend. Mary has had the store open now for 8 years. Congratulations, Mary. It's a great place to be. Again, a welcoming atmosphere and a great group of people. So if you're in town, definitely stop in there. While I was there, she was having 10% off for her birthday celebration weekend. And I did buy a couple of things. So, any guesses on what I'll be making with this yarn? I had run out of red and white Jamison's yarn, so I picked up, this is Elemental Affects, and it is a Shetland yarn. It is approximately 28 grams per ball, and I'm going to make more of Arne and Carlos's Christmas balls. So I wanted to make sure that I could get, start a few here and there, because while they're a quick project, I have several that I'd like to make. So yeah, I'm really excited to start some Christmas projects. And I know we're only at Halloween. We're not even at Halloween. We did decorate for Halloween this week. Our daughter loves Halloween. And so she gets upset sometimes when we start listening to Christmas music in September and October. And so what we did was this weekend we went out and we bought some more Halloween decorations, and we decorated a little bit more for Halloween for her. But I'm still going to be knitting some Christmas things, probably once I finish my hatdana. So I have cast on a 5th hatdana. Now this is the second version of my 5th hatdana. There may be a 3rd version because I'm holding 3 strands. Well, actually it's 6 strands total of Jamieson's of Shetland yarn together. And I started out with a size 6 US needle, and it was really dense fabric. So I went up to, I think this is a 9, a US 9. You know, it's kind of hard to read the imprinted in this light. Yeah, I can't see that. So I'm sure it's a 9, a US 9. But I'm concerned that the hatdana is going to be short and stout. So maybe it won't, fully cover my head. I like them to hang down the back a little bit. And this one might only come, to here. So I have to see. But they work up quickly, so I'm not too concerned about pulling it out again. Denise, this is a pattern by Beron Handmade. Denise Beron came up with this pattern. And if you have been watching for any length of time, you know that I love it. And I do. I wear them all the time. I have a lightweight version that I made with sock yarn from Whole Knit and Caboodle. And then I have a couple of worsted weight. And I think one, let's see. I have, one might be sport weight. That one I used yarn that I picked up on Knit in Public Day at the open house at Morehouse Farms. I picked up a skein of their hand-painted yarn. And oh my gosh, I love that one too. When the weather gets colder, which it has been this week, I have been wearing that one. And then the sock weight one I wore all summer long. So you probably saw it in several of my videos. I wear it, as soon as I get up in the morning, I put it on because it keeps the hair out of my face. I definitely need a haircut. So I'll be getting one of those soon, but I am just someone who most of the time I'll wear my hair tied back. But with the hatdana, I actually don't have to do that. I can just put that on and it just keeps it out of my face and out of my way. Which, yeah, I just love it. So anyway, this is hatdana number 5. Denise is having a meetup on the hill. I don't know where the hill is, but on the hill, I'm gonna, all these different meetups are happening on the hill. I'm also gonna do a stitch marker swap on the hill. So I really have to find out where the hill is. And so on Saturday at 1 p.m., Denise is having a hatdana meetup on the hill. So if you have also made a hatdana or a dozen, because that's how addictive this pattern is, then, and you're going to be at the Sheep and Wool Festival on Saturday, join the hatdana meetup on the hill, 1 p.m. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And that's pretty much all I have. Let's see. I can't remember if I showed you a photo of the stitch markers that I made or not. So for good measure, I will put a photo in here. I'd also like to say thank you to everyone who has reserved their tickets so far through Eventbrite for the Stitch Social. I appreciate that. We now have the tea and coffee for it, and I'm looking forward to meeting everyone. If you haven't reserved your tickets yet, I will have a link down below in the description so that you can click it and go ahead and reserve those tickets. They are free. The Old Dutch Church kindly allowed us to use their Bethany Hall for this event, and it is happening on the same weekend as the reenactment of the burning of Kingston, which happened in 1777, in case anyone was interested. So there are a couple of other events that are happening at the Old Dutch Church that night. There are municipal parking lots throughout town, and you don't have to pay the meters if you arrive after 6 p.m. So since the Stitch Social, I have a hard time saying that, Stitch Social, starts at 6:30, you won't have to pay the parking meters. So in Kingston, the meters are all free after 6 p.m. and that includes the meters in the municipal lots. And reserve your tickets through the Eventbrite link, and I can't wait to meet you all there. And if you happen to want to bring a skein of yarn for a yarn swap, feel free. I'll probably bring one myself. It'll be nice to meet everyone. Just want to say thank you for watching. I hope everyone has a great week. If you are enjoying my videos and you'd like to subscribe to my channel, there will be a button down here to press, and don't forget to click the bell for notifications. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments for me, please leave them down below. Have a great day.